then you see the truth. Okay. So the chakra so this chakra is about intuition. Your intuition starts working. Do you get intuition about things? Where does intuition come from? Where does your intuition come from?
Inner self, cosmos.
Okay. So, it's like your sixth sense. It's like an inner knowing. Okay. It's not your physical senses. It goes into the metaphysical. Okay. It's an inner knowing that yes, this is the way forward. This is the bigger picture. This is the truth. So you're no longer using your physical senses. You're using your sixth sense. Yeah, which is like into metaphysical, the spiritual. Going more as you go up the chakras, you are going more into the spiritual dimension. Okay, so you are using a sense which sometimes scientists don't have evidence. Do you have evidence for everything? Some things you can't collect the evidence immediately. You can't go to a research journal and say, this is the evidence, this is the statistics. But you just have a knowing. Okay, it's a knowing. Okay, about the galaxy, the planets. So this when this chakra is in balance, that knowing becomes sharper. So the knowing is your intuition. Your intuition becomes very sharp. And this chakra starts developing usually in adolescence, in your teenage years. That's why the identity is archetypal. What is archetypal? Symbolic. Okay? It's a symbol. It means symbolic. Symbols. Okay, you look at teenagers. Once a boy and a girl, they reach puberty, they start looking for role models. Have you noticed they put like posters?
Yeah.
They put posters of their favorite superstars, Shah Rukh Khan, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What do women put? Maybe some models or something. So the symbols, the pictures represent something. They suddenly they want to have all these symbols in their room, in their bedroom. They want to have all these. So these things represent something to them. So it's symbolic. So this chakra is symbols. So when we meditate, we start seeing symbols, and in our awareness, we sometimes see symbols. It could be numbers, signs, clues. Spirit speaks to us sometimes through symbols, right? But not everyone can interpret the symbols correctly. Okay, so when you can't interpret the symbols correctly, you go into this illusion. Okay, so this is the energy that affects the chakra. Okay, you don't see things as they are. You start seeing things as you want them to be. Okay. Okay, so when you are in illusion, it's like you're wearing glasses, filter glasses like pink, orange. You see everything through that lens. Okay, so the energy to counteract this illusion, you need to be grounded in reality. Okay, you need to be grounded. So that's why this chakra is inversely linked to the first one. The first one and the sixth one have an inverse relationship. If your first chakra is deficient, that means you are not grounded. You live in a fairy tale world. So if you live in a fairy tale world, your sixth chakra becomes excessive. Okay, it's an inverse relationship. If your first chakra is excessive, that means you live too much. You are very grounded. Too much based on too grounded. That means you want the science, you want the evidence. Everything has to have a statistic. Only the science matters. Everything that's in the physical, the metaphysical is too far-fetched for you. And then, so if you're very overly excessive here in the first chakra, then your sixth chakra will close down. It becomes deficient. It means you close yourself to intuition. So in childhood, what affects this chakra? Number one is repressed memories. Okay, you might have witnessed something or experienced. You might have seen, you witnessed it, or you yourself experienced something traumatic. Okay, a traumatic event which you choose not to remember. For example, you saw your uncle molesting some other relative. And then it was a very traumatic event in your childhood. You choose not to see it. You pretend you didn't see it. And you say, no, my uncle is a very loving man. So that's an example of an event which you choose not to remember. It's part of, you saw it, but you choose not to remember it. So it's a repressed memory. So all these if you have a lot of repressed memories. That means these memories never had a chance to be realized, to be understood. They stay in your psyche. They live in your psyche and takes up like space. Imagine this like 10 gigabyte, and all these repressed memories takes up like 5 gigabyte. Memory space. They take up memory space here. Okay, so anything that you choose to forget, anything traumatic that happened to you or you witness and you choose not to remember it, that memory of the event, it doesn't get grounded, it doesn't get realized. You don't have a full understanding of the event, so you repress the memory. Contradiction. What happens when you have a contradiction? That means what you see is not the truth. Okay. For example, you see your neighbors. You see your neighbors arguing. Okay, they're a couple. They're always arguing, and then your mom says, "No, they're very loving. They're like the most loving couple." I think that because children, they are intuitive. They can tell. Okay, this couple doesn't look like they're on good terms. They're always arguing with each other. And then you're told that no, they're very loving. So it's a contradiction because what you see doesn't match with what you intuitively feel. Okay, another example, you see your uncle, he's drunk, lying on the couch. And then your auntie says, "Oh no, he's just resting." No, he's not drunk, he's just resting on the couch. Okay, so again, the child feels intuitively something is not right. What they hear, what they see, it doesn't match with what they are told. So that becomes a contradiction. So children, they are very intuitive, but if their intuitions are not brushed off, and then a child starts to deny their own perceptions. They start to feel, am I seeing? They start doubting what they are seeing, what they are feeling. Okay, shame. A person with shame energy, shame was in the third chakra. So if this self-critical voice is very loud in the head, it becomes a very strong self-monitoring. The person is not able to perceive what's happening on the outside. They're always on the inside. The voice inside is always disturbing them. They can't really perceive patterns happening outside. Okay, so this chakra, when it's deficient, that means there's very little energy. Okay, usually the chakra becomes deficient because the lower chakras are excessive. What does that mean? Lower chakras are excessive. That means the person is very much rooted into physical, material science. Okay, everything has to be backed up. Numbers, statistics, what's the proof, what's the evidence. Okay, so they go into rational thinking. Thoughts are extremely rational. Not everything can be explained by physical science. There is this thing called spiritual science, spiritual concepts. Okay? So intuition becomes very poor. They have difficulty visualizing. Some people can't follow a guided meditation. They can't visualize. Imagine this room is blue. You can't visualize. So spiritually, they are close-minded. Okay? They close down their sixth sense. I ever had that feeling like you had a sixth sense about something and you didn't follow it. For example, you had a sixth sense. This guy says, "Oh, okay, why don't you invest in my company?" And then you have a sixth sense. "No, I don't think I should invest." And then you go ahead anyway. And then later you regret your decision. I shouldn't have. I know I had a sixth sense about it. Okay, so they deny their intuitions. Okay, then usually they are held in a fantasy world. So they are stuck in illusion. Okay, they still blindly believe. Okay, people who come in this category, they are religious. If the priest says something, okay, every morning put water on your feet, your house will be prosperous, you have prosperity in your house. They blindly believe, okay, I should do this. So they're still stuck in illusion. They're still in an illusionary world, and they close down their sixth sense. They want everything to be rational, guided by physical science, numbers, evidence. Okay, this is the extreme, the other extreme. So usually if this chakra is excessive, that means the person is not grounded. They're not grounded in reality. Okay, they're far from reality. Okay, so these people, they can't discern truth from fantasy. Okay, so for example, I'm sitting in meditation, and then I see Archangel Michael the Archangel Michael tells me, open a business, open a fashion business and donate the profits to charity. You know, I hear the voice, okay. And then I get out of my meditation and I say, I got this message from Archangel Michael and he said, you know, I should open a fashion business and I should donate my profits. Does Archangel Michael have nothing better to do? Telling me all this information. You know, from childhood, I probably had this desire to open a fashion business because maybe it was my interest. And you know, instead of recognizing that it was a childhood desire to be like a business entrepreneur, I say, no, it was Archangel Michael that gave me this information. Yeah, I should follow it. You know, so I overly identify with the vision that I received. You know, I interpret it by identifying it. You know, I've seen like women who I've met people who say that bad luck came to their family because they didn't do something. They say, I didn't do this ritual, I should have fasted for 1 week, I only fasted for 4 days. You see, my family is having all this bad luck, you know. So they just blame it on things that they can't explain. So they overly identify with, they're living in an illusion basically. You know, you can't explain, like what's the proof? You know, what's the proof it was Archangel Michael that came? Like, you know, how do you explain things? So they are just so much into the illusionary world. Okay. So when this chakra is balanced, your intuition is sharp. Okay, you can discern truth from fantasy. Is it really my inner desire? I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Is it really Archangel Michael? You know, you it's very clear, like the guidance you receive, the symbols you receive, the vision you receive, you can distinguish whether it's fact, whether it's real, whether it's fantasy, whether it's an illusion. Okay, you're able to receive the symbols, you're able to see it symbolically, interpret things, interpret your life events. So, because to recognize, to really work on ourselves, right, for this, to work on each of our imbalances for the chakras, we need to do a pattern analysis. So, recognizing patterns in your life, okay, that's the first step. Recognizing patterns, identifying issues. So when this chakra is in balance, it's easier to do that. You know, some people can identify the patterns in others, but in themselves, it's like no. You know, so when you start working on yourself, you are able to identify it, then you are actually working on this chakra. No, and any illusion, if you invest energy in an illusion, you can't see the reality. Okay, usually you would notice that a person who's in the illusions, invested a lot of energy in illusions, if you tell them the truth, the reality, usually they deny. They say, no, what do you know? You don't have experience with archangels. I know better. You know, they usually like brush you off. Have you seen light workers who do that? You know, they work with a lot of entities, and if you try to explain, are you sure? They sort of brush you off. You don't really know, right? You don't really know much. So they invest a lot of energy in illusions. So the more energy you invest in the illusion, the less you will be able to see the truth. Okay. So these illusions put you really you live like in a cocoon, you know. You start living like in a cocoon. So for example, if I'm a healer, you know, and I think that, okay, if I snap my fingers, everybody's getting healed. Alright, everybody's getting healed. So I might be living in an illusion that I'm a healer and I'm here to help people. And then when I meet someone, I might start questioning them. Oh, okay, do you have any problems? You can share it with me because I'm a healer, you know, I'm a really good healer. So you start meddling in other people's affairs in the name of healing. I might start interfering, poking my nose in other people's business. Okay, so I live in the illusion that, oh, okay, I'm a healer, I must help other people. It doesn't matter. If it's free, I should do free service for others. So it's an illusion, okay? Their motivation for doing the service, for meddling in others' affairs, is because they live in this illusion that, you know, I'm a healer, or some role that they're playing. Okay, so again, disorders linked to this part of the body. Headaches are very common. Some people get migraines, headaches. Vision problem, especially if a child starts wearing glasses at a very young age. You find that children who are short-sighted at a very young age, it's probably due to this, especially repressed memories. You choose not to see an event, and can give to short-sightedness at a young age, and then vision problems. Yeah. So any questions about this? It's fairly straightforward, I think. But Pradeep will explain in greater detail how to come out of illusions. Because every one of us has illusions, either we are aware of it or not. You know, whether the illusions are small scale or large scale. All of us have some percentage of illusions that we are stuck in.
Good. So now we have come to the sixth, reaching to the top. Good. So this is what is missing for the people who are imbalanced. So they are far, far, far away from the reality. This chakra is very important because this chakra is like almost, have you seen the snake and ladder game? Have you seen the snake and ladder? You put the dice and you keep moving, and when there is a ladder, you jump, and when there is a snake, you come down. So if you see, there are 100 boxes to go around, and the 99th box will be a snake. If you go into that box straight, it will come to number 2. So you have to start from the beginning. So this is like this. The snake is an illusion. Okay? The snakes represent illusion. So they are far away from the reality. If this chakra is not in balance, that means this chakra is also not in balance, the root chakra. You see, the second chakra is related to the fourth chakra, and the third chakra is related to the throat chakra. If you have excess energy in the third chakra, you will have excess energy here. Excess energy in the throat chakra means you are dominating. So that means you have more energy here. You use your voice to dominate. If you are dominating, you show your power. You express your power through the voice, isn't it? So third excessive means fifth excessive. And second and 4 are relative. So by the time you come to the 6th, can you see, people go through all these things and finally they come here and there is a snake trap which goes all the way to the first. How they are far away from the reality, very, very far away from the reality. They start hallucinating because this is the chakra where they try to fall into the trap of the spiritual ego. They go into an illusionary patterns. I'll give you examples. This chakra has to be given with a lot of examples. For example, if you feel you are any special to another person, is it a reality or an illusion?
Illusion.
What is the reality?
No one is superior.
No one is superior to nobody, nobody is inferior to nobody. This is the truth. Okay, this is reality. But if you feel you are any special to any degree, that means you are in a total illusion. So you see a lot of spiritual people, I say they fall into this trap because once they start meditating and once their chakras are getting opened up, they get some visions and these, and they feel, wow, yes, I'm growing, I'm really growing, I'm getting enlightened, I know the truth. So they assume they are little special than the other people. So they say, oh, I know everything, what do you know? So they go into that pattern, number 1. Number 2, they feel they have some gifts. Some people really have gifts, but actually by the time, people come to this chakra, they get their gifts. And they don't know the gifts are actually a trap. They don't realize the gifts are actually a trap. They get some gifts, and because of that gifts, they start into an illusionary journey where they feel they are special. Because of that gifts, actually they feel special. If they are normal people, they wouldn't feel. But because in their spiritual journey, they get some gifts, and because of that gifts, they feel they are special, they fall down.
99.
from 99 directly to 2. So other examples would be, I have seen many people in my journey as I'm traveling. I met so many people, and different people have different levels of or different varieties of illusionary concepts. You know, have you heard of there is this particular group who says, okay, we are here to take care of the planet Earth. You know, we go around the world and we activate the earth grids. Now we are here to activate the pyramids, activate the stones, activate the mountains, activate the oceans. Have you come across this kind of people? You are blessed. Because you didn't fall in that trap. So they live in an illusion. They would have said, okay, I got a message in my meditation to go to the pyramids in Egypt and activate. They sit in meditation because their third eye started opening. So they got a message, go to the pyramids and activate. So they feel, yes, existence, God has given a mission. So we have to go to the pyramids and activate. So they go to the pyramids believing they are going to activate the pyramids. They go there and they do some whatever things and they feel, yes, mission accomplished. I felt a lot of energy coming through my body and it went all the way down to the pyramids and it spread through the planet Earth. But the reality is they got a message to go to the pyramids and get activated for themselves. But they believe they are going to the pyramids to activate the pyramids.
Oh dear.
Can you see this very fine line? It's a very fine line between reality and illusion. And these people you can identify them easily. They will wear big crystals and malas and they appear very different. They feel like they're an angel. Even the dress they are wearing will be angelic, something like that. I met another I'll give you, in India you get a lot of these examples. You have a lot of fake gurus in India. They think they can do anything they want. They say, you have any problem, you believe me, come to me, I will take care of all your problems. You come to my ashram, I'll take care of all your problems. Only $100,000 donation. And there are people like that. I heard this Malaysian team I told you, right, who invited me, they actually went to an ashram in India. Okay, I don't want to name the ashram. They went to an ashram and they've been promised that their third eye will be activated.
Oh, I know. I know. I can imagine which ashram you're talking about.
There are many actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so they said the third eye will be activated, and it is an intense course, 1 month. It's a residential program, 1 month, and they have to pay $100,000 US, and it's a guaranteed third eye activation. And after the third eye gets activated, you see the disclaimer. After the third eye activates, your life will transform. You will have no more problems. Your business will be automatically taken care. And from then on, everything is happy, happy, happy. So there are many people who joined and they felt like, or in that 1 month, some initiations and something they felt, and I said, yes. And they said, they really felt something. Because if a person is having more energy, if he touches another person, some energy will pass. It is natural. So at that moment, they touch here and they feel like, yeah. So some excitement or whatever the energy flow. So they came back and they said, yes, mission accomplished. From now on, all our problems solved. 1 week they are in that state of consciousness. After 1 week, they noticed, how come my business is not on autopilot mode? How come it's not going forward? So after 10 days, they noticed their energies are also coming back to normal. They're coming back to their old self after 10 days. So then after 2 weeks, they called them. They said, I'm going back to my normal state. So they said, yes, you need to recharge. So you have to come for 1 week. Every 1 month, you have to come for 1 week, for 1 year. After that, you have to come for 2 days, 1 day. So like that, you have to keep recharging. So once the guru activates with the energy will discharge because you have a negative thinking. Your negative thinking will discharge the energy. So you have to come back to the guru to activate it. So now they believe somebody else can activate their third eye. So they have this third chakra, sixth chakra imbalance. Do you understand where the problem is? The problem is not with the guru. The problem, you are correct to laugh. The problem is not with the guru, because the guru is absolutely determined. I am going to make a very good business out of it. So he is determined. He is very clear. He has a perfect reality in his understanding. But it is the people who believe, somebody else can solve their problems. Somebody else can give them the third eye activation. So when you give away your power to somebody, you are in a great illusion. I pay you money, you give me enlightenment. So this is an illusion. Do you understand how many ways the illusions work?
So all this Shakti Peeth and everything is a crap, basically. You're saying.
I'm not here to comment anything.
No.
All I'm here to say is, kingdom of God is within you.
No,
Truth is within you. If you go to a Shakti Peeth, sit there and meditate and activate your own third eye, that is perfect. Okay. But you pay a hefty donation, or you don't pay a donation, it doesn't matter. But you ask somebody else to activate your third eye, then you are in illusion. Where you go doesn't matter, but what you do matters. Okay. A good student can learn from a bad teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
A good student can learn from a bad teacher. A good student can learn from a good teacher also. But a bad student can never learn from even a good teacher or any teacher. So the emphasis is on the student. Okay. So if a person is stuck in the sixth chakra, so he is far away from the reality. He believes that somebody is really going to help them. Okay. And also, there is so many what you call superstitions. You do this, you get that. You do this, you get that. There is no relation. If you have a simple reality check, if you use your simple common sense, it is very evident. If you give milk to the snake, how is your bank balance going to increase? Very simple, common sense, right? You give milk to the snake and your bank balance will increase. So some people, they have this. I'm just giving an example. Some people have this belief system or another belief system. Okay, you tie coconut and crystal salt in front of the entrance of your house, then all the people in your house will be very healthy and prosperous. What does the coconut have to do with your business? You see, they go into a belief system, a superstitious belief system. They are far away from the reality. You want more examples?
Can I say a couple of light lines?
Yes.
A person went to visit a mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously what you expected in all the mental people. So one guy was saying,
Well, the doctors are also mental doctors.
This guy is observing. This guy says, I am Jesus Christ. I am here to enlighten the world. I am sent by God. I am God's son. I am sent by God. And the next person, he says, don't believe him. He's a mad guy. So this guy was like me and you. He said, oh, this guy is really, he's not mad. Why is he there? And then he completed the sentence. I haven't sent anybody.
Aww. That was a good one.
See, if you believe you are the son of God, it is okay. If you believe you are the son of God, that is reality. If you believe you are the only son of God, that is illusion. You see, it's a very fine line between illusion and reality. Whenever you are giving away your power, whenever you are going away from your own responsibilities, whenever you don't recognize your own inner mastery, that means you are in an illusion. You are in a trap. There is, even in the spiritual world, there are people who say, I follow my guru is there to take care of me. I simply follow my guru. Whatever my guru says, I will do it. Is it what kind of category? Whatever my guru says, I will do it. What category is it in?
Imbalance of, I think, third chakra, where obedience is what you.
Codependence.
Yeah.
No. Where is it codependence?
You depend on.
You're not basically dependent. You're not trusting
No, they have
yourself.
this belief. You see, this is this. They have this very strong belief that the guru will take care of all the problems. They are not ready to work on themselves. They are not ready to look into their own problems. They are not ready to work. They are not ready to meditate. They are not ready to face their truth. They simply surrender to the guru. They say, my guru will take care. Whatever my guru does, it is for the highest good. I believe him. So this is an illusion. You should always have a reality check. Unless you have a reality check, you can never come out of this illusion. Yes, he is your guru. He has taught you all the things. But if he says something, if you blindly follow him, then you are in an illusion. But if you do a reality check, why is my guru still asking me to do this? What is the bigger reason? So you do a reality check, have a proper understanding, and then listen to him. That is correct. But if you blindly follow him, you are in an illusion. You got the difference? It's a very, very fine line. You should always use your own inner intuition. In this lifetime, I learned meditation from this person, Patriji. I learned meditation from this person. And there were few times he tested me. He will say something, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Why is he asking me to do that? It doesn't make sense. So then I resisted because I used my own inner guidance, inner intuition. I was doing this reality check. So then it didn't convince me, so I didn't do it. But it was troubling me. He was asking me, did you do that? Did you do that? And every time I have to say, no, not yet. No, not yet. So after, I think about a year, so I went and asked him, sir, it doesn't make sense to me what you're asking me to do. But also I feel little trouble because I respect you a lot and you're again and again asking me, have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? And every time I have to say no. So it really troubles me. So can you just clarify why you're asking me to do that? What exactly is it? Can you just clarify? I need more guidance. You know what he said? You have passed the test. He said you have passed the test. This is how the real guru gives the test. Okay. But there were other people who learned meditation from him, who are on the same organization. They failed the test. They think they are very sincere students, but they failed their test. You got it? It is really a deeper subject, okay? If you want to really understand this, in one line, if you want to understand, illusion is a trap, okay? If you have a belief system, you are special, or your guru is special, or your organization is special, anything is special. If you have this belief system, you are an illusion. What is the truth? Oneness is the truth. We are all one and the same. Every single person on the planet Earth is one and the same. This is the truth. This is the reality. But if you overly emphasize any speciality of any of the aspects, then you are in an illusion. Okay? Any questions? Because this chakra can be understood only by questions and answers. Please ask questions. Because it's too much. I cannot explain all. So if you ask, I can explain.
Any element associated with it? Or it's
Light. Light. Yeah. The element which is associated with this is light. Let us see some of the patterns now. Just to, I don't know why it is not working. Maybe the battery is gone. So let us go into a little bit of a deficient. This deficient is also very easy to identify. These deficient people, they are really spiritually close-minded people. I don't think this group is under this category. You cannot fall into this category. Because if you are spiritually close-minded, you wouldn't have enrolled for this workshop in the first place. Okay? So this much you can be sure about it. So then the next is we have to see the excessive. So in the excessive categories, I told you, right? Inability to discern the truth from fantasy. So here you need to have a lot of awareness and you need a lot of discernment. Did I explain you about discernment? What is discernment? No, I didn't. So what is discernment?
Is it our own ability to know the difference between, I don't know, right and wrong, or what resonates, or what is true, and what is
Yes, correct. It is your ability to discern what is correct and what is not correct. Your ability to discern what is correct and what is not correct is called discernment. So the people who have excessive sixth chakra, they have the inability. So they get into a conclusion that it is correct. It appears to be correct, but you need a greater discerning capacity to discern it, to see what is the truth, what is not the truth. Remember I told you this is a very fine line. When it comes to this chakra, it is a very, very fine line. And may over-identify with archetypal energies. They over-identify. In these people you can see, when they are in the meditation, the people who have started meditation, they will start their third eye getting activated. And they will see, yes, I've seen this, I've seen that. So they get overly identified. Yeah, I've seen that Himalayas, I've seen the Rishis, I've seen the sage. Actually, it is my past life. I was a past life in my sage. And people identify, oh, I was a king in my last lifetime. They get overly identified with whatever the archetypal symbols. Maybe they get a symbol, it is correct, they get a symbol, but they got the symbol for a reason. So they cannot decode it properly. They get into wrong conclusions. Okay, and as Navneet was saying, there was an example. There were so many people I heard, I was meditating, Buddha came to my meditation. Okay, what did Buddha say? Buddha said, from tomorrow onwards, turn towards the north and then do meditation. Do you think Buddha would ever say that? Turn towards the north direction and do meditation. So that is hallucination. In this chakra, the problem is, once you are once your frequencies are going higher and higher, there will be a lot of lower frequency entities, or you can say misguided souls. They will come and they will try to do a lot of mischief. They will come in the form of disguise. For them it is a fun. They want to do a mischief. But this fellow, if he doesn't have the discernment, he will believe, hey, really I saw Buddha, yeah? You don't believe me? I saw it. So, again the snake. So, you have to have a lot of discernment in this. And then they over-identify. You should not analyze anything in your meditation. You close your eyes and observe the breath. Everything else happens automatically. If some vision comes, let the vision come and let the vision go. Even in your sixth, we played a sixth eye video. In the beginning, a meditator will see all the masters in the form they know. For example, if you are a Christian, you will see Jesus. If you are a Hindu, you will see a lot of Hindu gods. You will see all your favorite gods in the beginning. But you should not get attached to that. It comes, it goes. And then you notice later on, the form disappears, only the light appears. So the Guru will take the astral masters will take the shape of the light. It is only light, it's only pure energy. Okay. So you have to let it go. So that's why no analysis of meditational experiences. There are many people who get stuck in the third eye experiences. They are meditators, but they get stuck in the third eye experiences. They feel like they are a great third eye master, but they are in a great illusion. They don't know that. What is the first eye? The first eye
Is your physical eye.
is the physical eye. The second eye? We call it as a third eye, right? So there should be second eye. What is the second eye?
Mind.
The second eye is the mind side. If you close your physical eyes, that means you are closing your first eye. Then your second eye will become active. That means your thoughts. You become aware of your thoughts. So when you cut the thought and come back to breath, cut the thoughts and come back to breath, then your second eye closes. When your second eye closes, then your third eye opens. So when your first eye closes, your second eye opens. When your first eye closes, second eye closes, then the third eye opens. The third eye will open on its own. And after the third eye opens, then the third eye goes into a perfection. It's called third eye perfection. In the third eye perfection, you come out of all the illusions. When the third eye opens, you are entering into illusion. When the third eye perfection happens, You are coming out of the illusion. That means you need to do more and more meditation and just let all the illusions pass by. You are not attached. You are not over-identifying with anything. Let it pass by. So then the third eye perfection happens. When the third eye perfection happens, then the fourth eye opens. The fourth eye is your wisdom eye, is your spiritual eye. You know, that is intuition. Okay? In the first three chakras, you are asking a lot of questions. After the fifth chakra, everybody is in Bhavana. Yes, one question.
Is there any gradual progress in achieving these, to be in the state of sixth chakra?
Gradual progress means?
I mean, you can only be in the sixth state if you pass the Ajna chakra, Vishuddha chakra. That's what Navneet was telling earlier.
Yes.
So,
If this chakra is blocked,
yeah.
you cannot, this chakra is not open.
So obviously the person made a lot of efforts to pass this Vishuddha chakra and be in the Ajna chakra. So why would such an intelligent and
It is a test for you.
this person would be in such state of not able to? These things, I feel that they should go in a deficiency rather than a excess. Maybe
Deficiency means there is no energy. They are closed-minded. Deficiency means there are no energy, they are closed-minded. Whatever the family they are born in, whatever the belief systems they have, they believe only in that. They don't have any, don't have any light here to see the truth. You got it? So all the religious people, they are very conservative. The religious, they are stick to that. They follow that blindly. They don't question it. That is deficient. Excessive is what we have to be careful of. Okay? So the deficient, we don't need to be worried about. But you can see the deficient also. You can see some people religiously doing a lot of superstitious things. Because that's the family they are born in, or that's the community they live in. So they blindly follow it. They are not willing to change. They are rigid. There is a lot of rigidity. So that is deficient.
You told about the light, once you see your masters or any form of the god you worship and the symbols of something higher, then you see light. How about geometrical symbols that comes in?
Geometrical symbols are archetypes. Geometrical symbols are archetypes.
Okay.
It has a message for you, it has a meaning for you, but you don't need to analyze.
Okay, but
That symbol, if there is a message through that symbol, you will have this understanding naturally. But if you try to analyze it, then there is a possibility you may over-identify with it and you are stuck in it.
But when you get something, you are curious to know what does it mean. If it is for
The curiosity comes from your mind.
Yeah, I know, but then it's still there. You are human after all, aren't you? And soul, but you see certain things, and you're for a momentary.
You see, if you start meditating every day, if you become a deep meditator, intense meditator, you will pick up which is your mind, which is your intuition. Okay? So once a person goes to a deep meditative levels, he will not fall into the trap of intuition. A person who is not meditating regularly, a person who is not a deep meditator, he will fall into this trap. Okay? A person who is meditating regularly, his third eye will be perfectly open. He will have a balanced third eye, which you saw in the video. So that is an example of a perfect. Okay? So we are discussing this if you are not meditating regularly. So here again the sixth is related to the root chakra. So this root chakra is totally deficient. So that means they are not grounded. They are not grounded. You see the trees. The trees are so strongly rooted.
Yeah.
So these people, they have deficient lower chakra. So they are not grounded. Because they are not grounded, it's easy for them to float in the airy-fairy world. But a person who is doing intense meditation is also totally grounded. Okay? For an intense meditator, no problem happens. All the examples I gave you about the so-called spiritual people, the light workers, they are not intense meditators. They don't meditate every day. Their root chakra is deficient. You will see their personal lives, in their personal lives, they have a lot of problems. They see they are great healers, they are gifted people, but their personal lives is not in order. Okay? So you have to see in correlation always.
So in Sanskrit it is called like yoga brasta, trapping in the ego and falling down after attaining to certain spiritual state.
Yoga brasta is more of the spiritual ego.
Yeah, because of spiritual ego.
You step into you overstep because of your spiritual ego. Yeah. But if you are grounded, you will not go to that yoga brasta. Okay. Even in yoga brasta, it becomes a learning experience. Some people, again, it's a very valid point. Some people, they fear, oh, my guru said this, so if I don't listen to my guru, that means I'm going to have yoga brasta. Yoga brasta means it's like what you call, it's a reverse journey. You are falling off.
Snake journey.
No, not snake journey. You are going backwards. You are not progressing forward. Your life evolution is going backwards. It's not going forward. So these people, they have this fear. Again, it's the root chakra. The root chakra is fear. Okay? They have this fear. If I don't follow my guru, I will have yoga brasta. It's coming from your fear. Okay?
So, sorry. See, when you get to the stage in meditation where your third eye opens up.
Your third eye doesn't open straight away. Your third eye first activates.
I know. So when you come to that high state,
perfection. Yes.
Perfection state. Then the thoughts stop coming into the.
Yeah, naturally so.
So then, say if you see something and then say, oh, Buddha came and go and do A, B, and C, isn't it a thought?
No, they start living in illusion. They can't identify whether it is their mind or whether it is the same. So it is their deep down desire. It is their deep down desire to open a fashion business. It is their deep down desire. But they cannot identify. They are not aware to see it is their deep down desire. So they misunderstand. So that is called an illusion. What is illusion? Illusion means which that is not real. Got it?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yes. If it is, do you think it's going to be useful for all?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can ask.
I mean, how and when did you choose this spiritual master path?
I didn't choose any master. The master came in my way.
Okay. I mean, like, when do you know that we have these qualities? I mean,
You're asking about myself or you're asking how did I choose him?
no, I'm asking about yourself.
Okay. You're asking about myself.
Yes.
So when I chose, I want to be like this, standing here and doing like this.
Spiritual master.
Okay, it's a very interesting question. You see, I started my journey in the year 2008. I was a software engineer. I was working in Melbourne. And I had everything in my life at a very early age. I did my masters, I did my successful engineering, I did my masters, I got a job, I got my permanent residency, and I got everything whatever the society and the parents expected to be successful, the so-called successful. Okay? Because you are coming from India, right? So the parents have an expectation. The society has an expectation. You have to study well, get a good job and get a good salary and settle down. And that too, if you're settling down in a foreign country, you are really successful. So this is the expectations they have. So I reached that quite early. And when I started getting all whatever my parents have expected out of me and the society has expected out of me, I started noticing, because I was thinking, once I reach that level, my life will be happy ever after. Okay, because my father used to ask, okay, you study well, you get good marks, and I used to say, why should I study well? He used to say, if you study well, you get good marks, and what do I do with marks? If you get good marks, you get good job. If you get good job, you get good salary. If you have good salary, you have a beautiful wife, so on and so forth. So this was the typical explanation of I think most of the Indian parents. So I was no exception. So I really believed my father. So I said, okay, what if I get everything? What happens next? He said, you will be happy ever after. Your life will be happy. So I believed him. And I went in that path. And after I got everything, I realized, oh my God, happiness is not there. I got everything, but still I'm not happy. So my father lied to me. Then by the time I'm 24 years old, I lived already my 24 years old thinking that day, I'm waiting for that day. That day, from that day onwards, I'll be happy. But that day came, but the happiness did come. So that created a lot of inner disturbance inside me. So I started searching, where can I find happiness? Because I noticed in my life my happiness was going up and down, going up and down. For example, I go for shopping, I'm happy. I come out of the shopping, and again my happiness was going down. If you eat nice food, you go to a restaurant, eat nice food, spend time with the friends, you are happy. After that, they go back to their homes and you are by yourself, the happiness is going down a little bit, less and less and less. So I started looking around the people very closely. Okay, what's my life going to be? After some time, I'll get married. After that, I will have children. After that, I will start earning property for my children. And after that, I will, go into a certain position, name and fame. And after that, I will retire. And after that, I will die. Oh my God, is it what I'm living for? Is it all life journey is? So I said, I don't want to do that. So I want something else. So that was the point I started looking for. I want happiness. I don't want all this. Because I started looking into the people's eyes. I started looking into the eyes of the people who are successful, who have children, who have property. I started looking into the eyes of the people who are into power, who are into a good position, authority. But I couldn't find happiness. Their eyes were dull. Outwardly, they were like, okay, all is well. But when I looked into their eyes, I couldn't find happiness. So that triggered a major turmoil inside me. So I wanted to find where I can get eternal happiness. What should I do for me to be happy always? So that's where my journey started in the year 2007, end of 2007. So then I went to India. I went to ashrams after ashrams, gurus after gurus. The ashrams are saying something. The photographs of the gurus are smiling, but when I look into their eyes, I couldn't find any truth. I mean, my inner guidance was saying, no, this is not the place for me. So I went ashrams after ashrams. I couldn't find anything. So then, by the time 6 months has been gone. So because you are in IT, if you have a 6 months gap, that means you are outdated. So I thought, anyway, you're in India, better I equip myself with some Microsoft certifications or whatever, so that when I go back, it's easy to get a job. So I joined a Microsoft certification in .NET in Hyderabad. So there, in that institute, I used to sit next to a guy. The very first day, there was only one place left, so I sat in that place. So that guy smiled at me. He's a quite short guy. Okay? He was sitting next to me. He smiled at me. I smiled at him. That's it. So the next day, I came little late. So the entire room was full. But there's only one place available. He waved the hands. I said, hey, I'm holding the space for you. Come. So from that day onwards, he always holds the space for me. So, but we didn't have any interaction or nothing. He holds the space. I smile at him. He smiles at me. We were like silent buddies. Okay, very silent buddies, smiling at each other. But whenever one lecturer goes off and another lecturer comes, in between, one lecturer goes off, another lecturer comes. So he used to close his eyes, sit like this, and just close his eyes. So because I come from Australia, I have this habit not to interfere in the others' affairs. So I didn't bother asking him, what are you doing? I thought maybe he's relaxing. So this went on for 3 months. And after 3 months, there was some project. You need to submit the project, then only you get the certification. So there was only half an hour more, but our project was stuck. There's some coding was wrong or something happened. It was not executing. So it was a very critical time, though he was my project mate. So the whole team was in full of tension. If you don't do this, then the 3 months is a waste. So at that time, he gave an out-of-box solution. He was very calm. He was not going through any stress. He was very calm, and he just gave an out-of-box solution out of nowhere. And when we applied it, it really worked. So that moment, I noticed he's not a normal person. Because he's not having the qualities of a normal person. He's having the quality of a yogi, because in a stressful situation, you are so composed and so calm, and you're just giving an out-of-box solution. That is not a normal quality. So immediately I asked him, the first question I asked him is, tell about you. There's something, you are not normal, tell about you. You have a quality of a yogi, because I see only yogis are so calm and relaxed. So you have a quality of a yogi, so tell about you. He said, nothing, I do meditation. And I said, meditation, you need to go to Himalayas to meditate, right? I asked. He said, no, you can stay at home and meditate. Really? Okay. Who taught you meditation? Where did you learn? I asked. He said, there was one guru, his name is Patriji. You heard of him? I said, no, I didn't hear him. He taught me meditation. Guru taught you? I asked, does he have a beard? He said, yes, he has a long beard. I said, okay, forget it. I don't tell about anymore. I don't want to know anything more. Because from my childhood, I have this, because in India you have so many fake gurus. I have this understanding. Anybody who has a beard is a fake. Because a person is enlightened, he is simply enlightened. What is the need of a beard? He is simply showing off to show he is enlightened. So he is a fake guru. So that's it, the conversation stopped. So then I went home, but I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because there is something in him, because that's not a normal quality. There is something in him. So the next day I went back and I said, tell about your guru. He didn't say anything. He just said, okay, tomorrow I will give you some CDs. You see the CD, there is some audio video. You see it and you decide it by yourself. Again, it is a strange, because if somebody is following any guru, they will speak great things about their guru. Yes or no, my guru is this great, my guru is that great. Or at least they will say, my guru is very simple. He didn't say anything. So again, it's a strange behavior. So my curiosity increased. I waited for the next day. Then he gave the audio videos. So I collected the CD and I asked a question. Okay, you are doing meditation. You gave me the CDs. That is correct. Can I ask some questions regarding meditation? He said, yes, you ask. I said, see, I never had a girlfriend in my life. I was dreaming about a dream girl. Okay, I have a lot of desires in my life. I don't want to be a celibate. If I do meditation, will my interest in sexuality disappear?
Very valid question.
I asked this question because I'm waiting for that day, that moment. But I'm waiting for that. If I start meditating now, will I lose it? He looked at me smilingly and he said, actually your interest will increase. I was like, wow, okay, that is convincing answer. Okay, now I'm ready to watch the CD. So I took the CD and I went home and I watched on my computer. So the very first video I watched was, Patriji was telling about, he was explaining the last statement of Gautam Buddha, Apo Dipo Bhava. So this is the last statement Gautam Buddha has spoken. Gautam Buddha chose to vacate the body on a particular time, on a particular day. So on that day, he asked all his disciples to gather, and he didn't speak any words. The only words he spoke was Apo Dipo Bhava, and then he left the body. So he was explaining what that words mean. Apo Dipo Bhava means, Apo means only you. Apo means only you. Deepo means light, your inner light. Apo Deepo Bhava means only you can light your inner lamp, nobody else can. So this is you have to really give a good round of applause because this is the sixth chakra. It's all connected to this. So if a person like Gautam Buddha has spoken these words towards his death, like before he decided to leave the body, this is the last words and this is the only words he has spoken. That means these words summarizes the essence of his life. Isn't it so? Anybody speaking during the time of death, those words are the some essence of their life. So he was describing Apo Dipo Bhava means be a light unto yourself. Only you can light your inner lamp. So he was explaining that and I was like, that struck inside me. I said, yes, that is true. Because I never believed in any gurus. I never believed in any gurus from my childhood. I always believed I have to find my own truth. That was my strong belief system from my childhood. Of course, it is coming from my past lives. So when he said that, I felt this guy is making sense. So then he said, if you want to know the truth, close your eyes, observe the breath. Then I said, okay, deal done. So I said, I'm going to experiment. Then immediately I booked my tickets to Australia. I went to Australia. I went to Australia because it's already 8 months. I need to find a job because my credit card debts are getting accumulated. So I went to Australia to find a job, but I couldn't. I have no interest in applying a job. My interest is, I want to know this truth. So he said, just close your eyes, observe the breath. Is that all? I'm going to experiment. So I'm going to experiment for 2-3 hours. Let me see what happens. So that intent to experiment led me to meditate for 1 whole day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years. For 2.5 years, I was only doing meditation.
On your own?
On my own.
What? Years?
2.5 years. I locked up myself in a room, I was doing only meditation.
Oh wow.
I quit everything. I told myself, if I don't know who am I, if I don't know what is the truth, what is the point of living, I better die. Either I live knowing the truth or I die. So I was in a do or die situation. I didn't have the planning I'll be meditating for 2.5 years. I thought, okay, I'll meditate for 1 day or 2 days and find out. But when I meditated for 1 day, there was so much of energy. There was so much of awareness. I felt like, wow, amazing. Then the 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, because I was looking for that eternal happiness, right? I was looking for that eternal happiness. I was actually experiencing that eternal happiness in my meditation. I'm simply joyful for no reason. Because I was experiencing that eternal happiness, I was meditating. So in these 2.5 years, what I did, I deprogrammed myself completely. I started coming out of the society belief system, the expectations from the parents. I started disconnecting myself from everything, and I started connecting to myself. So in these 2.5 years, I came to know all the answers for whatever the questions I had. I had the questions, who am I? Where did I come from? What is my purpose of life? What is death? What will happen after death? So these questions I had as a very, very small child. As a very small child, I had these questions. But as I was growing up, it went into the back burner. So when I started meditating, all these questions came back. And I was very much detrimental. Unless I find all these answers, I'm not going to do anything. So that's how my spiritual journey got initiated. It was unplanned. Okay. So after this 2.5 years, then by the time I started getting guidance from my astral masters in my deep meditation, and my intuition started working. I just know deep down within me. So if I have a question, the answers comes automatically. So at the time I got this guidance, you are in extreme spirituality, now it is the time to be in the middle path. So I told myself, okay, now I got all my answers. At 2.5 years I became a hermit. I lost contact completely from the outside world. So now I have to go back to the society.
Sorry, were you doing continuously for 2.5 years?
Yeah,
No?
I was asking you the same. I mean, were you doing hourly, like 8 hours and then taking a break, or were you like Gautam Buddha, you sat
No, exactly.
Not continuously. That 2.5 years, I dedicated myself for meditation. I used to do for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours.
And who
per
took
day.
care of your bills?
My credit cards. My credit cards.
So you had enough bank balance.
Yeah. See, the universe guides you, right? So before I went to India, I was already working, so I got credit cards. So every time I used to swipe my credit card, and every time the credit card balance, almost coming to the end, the bank automatically sends a letter. We are pleased to increase your credit limit. You are a valuable customer. So like that, my credit card limit kept on increasing for 2.5 years.
Did you not do any job?
Absolutely no.
No jobs.
No job. The only thing I used to do was to meditation, listen to music, and the only outdoor activity I used to do was I used to go for a local council. There is a swimming pool in the local council in Melbourne, Australia. So I used to go for a 1 hour swim. That was my only outdoor activity. And even then I was in complete silence, mauna. I used to walk in mauna, quietly swim and come back and close eyes and meditate. I used to read a lot of books. So I read a lot of books and I listened to a lot of music and I meditated. So because I want to know what is this person? What is this made of? Where did this person come from? So this was my only intent. So I said, unless I know this, I'm not going to do any job. Okay? I didn't do continuously 24/7, but I did as much as possible. Okay? After 2.5 years, I was guided to come to the middle path. And then by the time, 2.5 years is gone, the only thing I know in IT was Zero. All the programming, all the coding, everything disappeared. The only thing I know is close your eyes, empty the mind. So, how do I apply the job? Who will give me the job? So I was not having the confidence. For a few minutes, I was not having the confidence even to apply for a job. But then my inner voice told me, you didn't waste your time. You didn't waste your time. Those 2.5 years is a very valuable time which has shifted your life. So you don't need to feel bad. Just apply. This is the voice which I got. So I applied. My resume was very good. Microsoft certified, masters, bachelors, IT, everything. My resume was very good. So I applied the job. The very first job I applied, I got an interview. At the time it was recession. I'm telling about 2010, February. So at that time it was recession. Jobs were not available in the market. I just applied. The very first job I got the interview call. And on the telephone, the other side, there was a lady speaking. Okay, you applied so-and-so job? I said, yes. You are interested in this position? I said, yes. Okay, so can you come to an interview by 12:30? She called me at around 10. She asked me to come at 12:30. So I have only 2.5 hours left. So in this 2.5 hours, which book to refer? Because I'm going for interview, right? I have to obviously prepare. What to read, which book to refer, what to do. I was like, okay, I don't know anything. The only thing I know is meditation. So better I meditate and go. Whatever happens, happens. So again, I got showered, got my interview clothes ready, and I sat in meditation. I meditated for 40 minutes. So towards the end of meditation, I got a very strong feeling from inside. The feeling came, it's like a thought or feeling, but it is a very clear, suddenly implanted. You do the interview. This is the voice. You do the interview. This is the voice I heard towards the end of the interview. I told myself, maybe I became crazy after doing so many years of meditation. What is that you do the interview? You are going for an interview and you are getting a message, you do the interview. So I just rubbished it off and I drove my car and I was going to this place where the interview is going to happen. While I was driving the car, continuously the message started coming, you do the interview, you do the interview. I was thinking, what is interview? Interview means asking questions. So the message I was getting was, you do the interview. So that means I should ask the questions. It doesn't match because I'm going for interview. So then by the time the place where the interview is going to happen, that came, and I went to the reception and I told the lady I came for the interview. So she guided me to the conference room. And she said, okay, you please wait here, the manager will come. So I was waiting in the conference room, I was looking around the building, I came for a real job, I'm going to make a fool of myself. Whatever they are going to ask, I have no answer. So what am I going to do? So I was just thinking, these are the practical things you will think there. So at that time, my mind was going very faster, the voice was very faster in my mind. You do the interview, you do the interview. And it's that moment, okay, if whatever interview means questions, whatever the manager asks, I don't have any answers. So better maybe I can ask questions. So this was the understanding which came. As I was contemplating this, suddenly a lady opened the door and entered in. And at that time, I stood up. I was in an altered state of consciousness then. I stood up from my chair and I told her, welcome, please come in and take your seat. So, I was like, oh, something was happening here because I was witnessing my behavior. I was witnessing, at the same time I'm on an autopilot mode. Okay, and that lady was, thank you. Like that she came and she sat and she got a bundle of papers, some files. She got it along with her. And I was witnessing her, right? Very closely because 2.5 years of practice of awareness. So every microsecond what she is doing, I'm witnessing. And she was sitting and I was looking closely at her lips. She was about to ask me a question. That moment I said, oh my God, I should never let her ask any question. So the moment she started opening her mouth, immediately the words came out of my mouth, say, tell about yourself. So she was settling down and she was about to ask a question. Suddenly, said, tell about yourself. And then I was like witnessing. And she was taken back for a minute. For a few seconds, she was taken back for a few seconds. And she made herself comfortable. And then she did, and then okay, I'm working in this company as a manager for so many years, I work in this department, and this is some introduction she gave. Before she finished that question, I'm asking another question. Tell about the tools and technologies you're using. Tell about the platforms. Tell about the team. So I was asking one question after the other. I was creating these imaginary questions. Because if I let her ask any question, I'm going to be a fool. So better I ask as many questions as possible. So for the next 10 minutes, I was asking all the questions, imaginary questions. Tell about yourself, tell about the platforms, tell about the tools you're using, tell about the team environment, tell about the work culture, tell about the market space you are having, tell about the future prospects, tell why should I join this company. So I was asking every possible question. After 10 minutes, I ran out of questions. So I told her, okay, now you may start the interview. She took the papers and kept it aside. She took from one side, kept it on the other side, and she took a pen and wrote something on the piece of paper, and she put in front of me. And she said, if you're happy with this package, you can join next Monday.
Oh.
I was like, is it real? Did I get a job? What is happening? So I was in that contemplating state. So I was just looking at the figure, and I was just thinking. I didn't even look at the figure. I was just thinking. And then she wrote a figure, and I was actually dividing by 2 because that's a 6 months contract role I applied. So normally they declare the annual package. So I was dividing by 2, and then she suddenly spoke, oh, sorry, ours is a small company, and this is what we can offer for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, it's double what I was expecting. But at the time, I cannot display my surprise. So I somehow managed and got back to my composure. And I said, it's okay, I don't work for money. I told her, it's okay, I don't work for money, I work for ethics. I liked your ethics, I'll join. So this happened. She said, okay, you can join next Monday. So as I was coming out of the office, the thought came to my mind was, this is a bogus company. Because they didn't even ask a single question. Who would give a job that to double the package without asking a single question? I had 2.5 years break. Remember? Who would give a job? And then I was like, this is a complete bogus. So I will wait for Monday, and then only I will tell my parents that I got a job. So I didn't tell anybody. And then I went back and slept. I forgot it was an interview. For me, it was a bogus. So the next day, around 9 o'clock, next day morning, I got a call. And then it's the same manager. She said, actually, I noticed you are not happy with your salary. So I spoke to the board of directors, and they agreed to increase your base pay by 10%. Are you happy? I said, well, okay. So then it was like confirmed bogus. Who will increase 10% without working for a single day? I said confirmed bogus. Then the Monday came. When I went on Monday, I was prepared to go and come back. But when I went, I was surprised. It was actually a real job. It was a real job. And when I went into the company, then my manager took around and she introduced the team. And my teammates asked, what happened in the interview? I asked, why you asked this? She said, the manager rejected 7 people before you, and all the interviews were around 1 hour, and your interview was hardly 20 minutes, and you got the job. So what happened in the interview? I said, interview happened. And then now the next challenge. Because I got the job, that everything was magical. I was witnessing all the magic. Everything was magical. But now, how am I going to do the work? It's a 6 months contract job. So I have to perform, right? But I don't know anything, all forgotten. So again, the magic is, they gave me a worksheet. Okay, this is what you are going to do. And I saw the worksheet. I said, I don't know anything. What am I going to do? So then, the only thing I know is meditation. So I put the worksheet, I sat in front of my computer. I closed my eyes and meditated for 2 minutes. And then I started, my fingers were automatically going on the keyboard. I started recollecting every single thing I studied in my engineering, I studied in my master's. All the studies which I have done many, many years ago, I started recollecting. The codes were just coming through me. The information was just coming through me. And within 2 weeks, I became one of the outperforming, like best employers in that team.
Wow.
So I continued in the same work for about 5 years.
Wow.
Oh,
That's great.
And in the year, but I didn't work the entire 5 years, because I used to work one month and I used to get the pay, and I'll tell the manager, okay, I need a 1 month break, and the manager will say yes. So I will travel around and I'll start teaching meditation. So for 5 years, from year 2010 February till 2014 August, I was working average of 6 months per year. If I work 2 months, I take 2 months off. If I take 3 months, I take 3 months off. Because I work until the project finishes and I take off. So this is how I was working. Because my passion was more to teach meditation. Because whatever I got in my meditation, I wanted to spread it to other people. Because there are so many people who are looking for this kind of truth. So then I started going around and teaching meditation within Australia, and I traveled to Singapore, Malaysia. I was simply teaching meditation, and also I was having fun going for a holiday, because that 1 month salary was enough for me to go for another month of holiday. So I was just having fun. Wherever there is a possibility, I will teach meditation. But other than that, I was enjoying my life and having fun and holiday. So like this, 5 years went. 2014 August, I got another message saying it's time to quit the job and do it as a full time. So that's when I quit my job. And after I quit my job, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to live, but I got the guidance, so I just quit. So I quit in August, and I got the crystal in October. So
And how did you get that?
How did I get the crystal?
Yeah.
So,
Crystal, what happened? What magic happened?
do you have time?
Yeah, we can take it.
5:35.
Okay. In the year 2014, in the month of I think in the month of June, I received an email from a lady called Nina Brown from United States, Santa Fe. I was living in Melbourne, and I received this email from USA, and the email said, I don't know her. Okay, I don't know her. She's not my friend, but she was introduced to me in the month of 2013 November. She was introduced to me because 2013 I was in India attending the spiritual conference in Pyramid Valley. That was the time I met her, 2013 November. So that time there was another participant who came from Mumbai to attend the same conference. So she saw me, and after she saw me, she said, I have a friend in America. I feel I should introduce you to her. I said, okay. So she wrote an email connecting me to her friend in America in 2013 November. Just one email, hi, finished. So the same lady in the year 2014, in the month of June, she sent an email back to me saying, I need to speak to you. I have a message from the Star Council, from the Galactic Council. I have a message, I need to speak to you. So I said, okay, fine. Because by the time, because I'm in deep meditation, I started communicating with my star friends and other people. So I know what she's speaking. So I said, okay, I'll come on Skype. So we both were on the Skype. That was the first time I'm seeing her. And she showed me this crystal. I said, okay, why are you showing me this crystal? She said the Galactic Council instructed her to give the crystal to me, and that I will be the new custodian of the crystal.
Wow.
So then I asked, what do I do with the crystal? I don't know anything about the crystals. Because in my whole journey, I was just closing my eyes and observing the breath. Other than that, I never worked with crystals or any other things. So I don't know anything about crystals. So she said, no, you are the custodian. You know about it. So she said she's been instructed to bring the crystal to India in the month of October. On October 2nd, she came to India, she came to Pyramid Valley, and she gifted me the crystal on October 2nd. And this event was a massive event because there were 2,500 people witnessing that ceremony. They did it in a very big ceremony. The transfer of the custodianship happened in a very big ceremony. There were 2,500 people in the pyramid meditating, facilitating that process, and there were millions of people around the world who are witnessing that also.
And what was your experience as in, like, when you were taking the pyramid? Just nobody.
Okay, when I got the
Yes.
crystal, that minute,
That moment, like
Okay.
you found an energy or something like that. And also, please say something about the Star Galactic Society.
that is another
Yeah.
subject altogether.
Yeah.
Let us finish the chakras
Okay,
first.
okay.
Okay, so when I received the crystal, I was like, because you see, the Galactic Council gave her a detailed instruction. They have given her the dialogue, screenplay, direction, everything they have given her. Like in which direction you should stand, and how many people should be in the close grid, and what language to use, and what was the time. So everything they have given her, what to do, until the crystal is handed over to me. And after the crystal is handed over, there is nothing, no dialogue or nothing. They simply gave a message. He knows what to do after receiving. So I was like because this event was publicized already in the local magazines and all. Because she is a well-known spiritual teacher in America. So she's coming all the way from America only for this. So it was publicized in the spiritual magazines within in Andhra Pradesh, in Bangalore, Karnataka. So people were all so excited, hyped up, and they say there is a great galactic event going to happen, and we have to witness it. So this is very much hyped up, and I was like, I don't know anything about the crystals, and am I going to become a fool in front of the people? So that was my concern. I was not worried about the crystal. I was worried about whether I be a fool.
That was your innocence, basically.
Whatever it might be, that is my concern. So when when they handed over the crystal to me, it was okay, normal only. I didn't feel anything. But after a few minutes, I started speaking something strange. Because after they gave the crystal, everybody was waiting for me to speak. So at that time, I just told my astral masters, I don't know what I'm going to speak. As I normally do, I'm going into a meditative state. So whatever happens, you need to take care. So I just asked my astral masters to come and help me. So at the time I received the crystals, I was still conscious, and in that conscious state, suddenly I started speaking certain things. I started speaking like, if you are a warrior, you are a warrior, you have a big command, and you have won the war, and you are giving a victory speech. Okay, just imagine the scene. You are a warrior, you have a big command, you won the war, and you are giving a victory speech. And that is what I was giving there. My dear galactic warriors.
Oh my God.
It's not the physical, it was like galactic. I was speaking, my dear galactic warriors, and I was like, I can't remember now, but in that moment I was speaking. And as I was speaking, the entire pyramid was absolutely pin drop silent. There was a huge energy vortex which came and swirled, and everybody became a statue like this at that moment. I spoke for about 10 minutes. I can't remember exactly the time. I think around 10 minutes I spoke. After that, I just came back to my senses. I couldn't remember anything what I spoke. Not even a single word I remember. The only thing I remember is everybody is coming and giving me a shake hand, and everybody is congratulating me. I was like, what did I speak? What did I do? No. So that was the first time I channeled. So after the crystal came to me, I didn't know that was channeling at the time, but later on I realized that's the time I channeled my higher self. Okay, so that happened. That's all.
Wow.
After that, the crystal came to me. Now my next question was, what do I do with the crystal? So then the ceremony finished, and the next day myself and Patriji, we were sitting and discussing, because we are like good friends. I never considered him as my guru. I always considered him as my friend or my teacher, because through him I learned meditation. So there's always a gratitude, like he is my teacher. But I never put him on the pedestal. He is my friend, he is my teacher. That's it. So we were discussing, and I was saying, what do I do with this crystal? It's not small, it's so big, what do I do with this crystal? So then he said, this is not a normal crystal, this crystal is connected to the other star systems and to the other galaxies. You will travel around the world, and the crystal will take you around the world. And your movements on the planet Earth is monitored by the astral masters. So there is a new mission you will be doing. So when he was saying that, I was like, okay, I quit my job, I have no salary, and he was saying I'm traveling around the world. Okay, let me see, let me wait and see. So I quit my job in the year 2014, September, and the crystal came to me in October. He told me you will travel around the world. So after that, I didn't overemphasize it, or I didn't discard it. I will say, okay, let's see, whatever happens, happens. But the magic really happened, because now we are like 4 years from 2014. So in the last 4 years, I traveled more than 30 countries, and now on an average, I travel 4 to 5 countries per month.
Wow.
And I don't have any contacts around the world, because my contacts are very limited in Melbourne, in India, that's all. But it's because of the crystal the people are inviting me. Because many people around the world, they know about this crystal, or they get a message in their meditation to invite me, or they get a dream to invite me. So they somehow get a contact and they invite me. And people who attend, they feel a lot of energies, and they tell their friends, and their friends from another country invite me. So like that, this network is going on.
Wow.
So this is my journey with the crystal, and I use the crystal only for meditation. And I don't overemphasize on the crystal. I just say your truth is inside you, because that is my experience. My experience is I got my transformation in my meditation. So I place the crystal. I know crystals give energies, because I know this crystal gives a lot of energy. I know that for sure. It is in my own experience. So I place the crystal and I make the people meditate. That's all. Very simple.
Wow. But do you meditate at home, like with the sitting, along with the crystal, at home?
No,
You don't do that?
I don't do that. Unless there are more than 2 people, I don't take the crystal out. Because when the crystal came to me, there was this intuition. The crystal came to me not for me, not for my personal purpose. I'm just the custodian and I have a mission. So that's all. I don't do it for any healing. I don't do it for myself. I just use it only for group meditations. Ah, thank you. And so we will take, okay, now we conclude. You see, this illusion is again at every single point of time in my life, I was more realistic, right? I was more realistic. Because of my intense meditation, I was so totally grounded. But people who don't meditate intensely, they become off the ground so easily. And that's when the trap of illusion happens. Because I met so many spiritual people, they have a lot of gifts. I deeply contemplate, why can't they understand this? This is just a common sense. Why don't they do the reality check? Why are they behaving in such a way? So my only understanding was when I closely, introspect, I make friendship with them, I discuss with them. The only thing I noticed was, number one, they are meat eaters. Okay, number one, they are meat eaters. If they are meat eaters, they are stuck in the root chakra. So that means they go into the fear consciousness. So because of this fear consciousness, this becomes excessive. They are off the reality and this becomes excessive. And they go into the illusion. There is one possibility, let me complete. That is one possibility. Or the other possibility is, I met people who are vegetarians, but they don't meditate. They meditate for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Or they do a lot of rituals, they do a lot of ceremonies. Okay, I met this category. They are vegetarians, but they don't do intense meditation. They are more into rituals, they are more into ceremonies. They are more into, the archangels, the crystals and the grids and this. They are into that kind of airy-fairy world. So these are the 2 categories I met. So then I understood, because they are not meditating intensely, that is the reason they are going off the ground. But for a meditator, if you are meditating intensely, you will never go into this excess. You will have a perfect third eye opening. When I had my perfect third eye opening, I had my third eye opening in my past lives only. But in this lifetime, it just, I didn't go through that process of colors and anything. I didn't have anything. Straight, I got the intuition activated. Because if you have finished all the experiences in your past life, in this lifetime you will not have any experiences. You will have only practical experiences. Like, how to get a job and how to do all these things. So you will not get spiritual experiences, you will have practical experiences. Now I use my intuition. I use my intuition for practical reasons. Okay.
So egg is the part of meat eating, or egg
Naturally.
is okay.
Every hen lays the egg not for others to eat. It's for its own babies. The egg doesn't have life force energy. Okay. The egg is meant for its own babies. Okay. The humans interfere and they put hormones, and they put the hormones, they interfere in the natural reproduction system, and they make it like unfertilized egg. but it doesn't make any good.
Okay.
Okay, it is worse than a natural egg.
Okay.
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 All right, friends. We will take a 10 minutes break, and after that, we will finish off the 7th chakra. The 7th chakra is a very quite short and precise, but we'll take a 10 minutes break. Is it 10 minutes break or 10 minutes meditation? Which you prefer?
Meditation.
Okay, so we'll do a 10 minutes meditation.
Thank you for the beautiful question. It went like, yeah, great.
Yeah, I didn't expect.
Thank you so much.
Because I wanted to go on.
Yeah, no, I wanted to know, but I'm
Okay.
glad you asked. Great.
What made you ask that question? To think like, where did this guy got all this information?
I mean,
He got a message.
And I was the one who was sending it.
He was guided to ask that question.
I tell you what, Pradeepji,
Hmm?
I was doubting that this guy very young, and you
Yeah.
gave the years that from there, that, I said, that is a big leap, you know,
Yeah.
big leap.